Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Awakening Star. I am the Oracle. So, it's a big one. It's a really big one today, everyone. It's super late, it's really late, much later than I would normally like to read, and I was very much guided to do that. This reading is going to be predominantly about shadow. I'm entering in the space today with a lavender and white sage smudge stick. We've got the Aries new moon eclipse coming up on the 19th as well, and that's the second of what's sometimes called the black moons, and it's in the Aries and Taurus cusp. There's some of you out there that are going to be very much aligned with this being a time of a portal, and it's been really dark. And the information that I've been getting over the past few days was that there's a lot of ancestral karma being worked through at this time, and you know, it's time to just really ground into that work. I feel like for some of us, there's been like nowhere to hide. It's like our shadow has been chasing us down, and now we're in a corner, and it's like the only way through it is to just face it. So I really wanted to have this reading open-ended to Spirit to call in anything of shadow that they want to bring up. And you know, shadow work means a lot of things to a lot of people, but for me, primarily, it's those things that have been rejected by others. I realized in a lot of my life, a lot of my shadow was things that other people had rejected in me that I then kept in a box. I worked out that I don't mind my shadow, you know, it's like I'm very objective and I can see all sides to everything all of the time, but it was the things that have been rejected by others that really ended up in that shadow pile. So some of you might find yourselves there too, and some things just feel too big to want to admit to self sometimes for lots of different reasons. You know, I realize that inner child can reject a part of us too. So there's lots of ways that shadow can affect us, but it's about pulling back those sides of us that have been left out, that have been locked away, that have been unseen. And this can also be gifts. I realize a lot of my shadow held a lot of my spiritual gifts too, and the more that I've worked through my karma, I'd say the more gifts have been shown to me. There's a lot of wealth in shadow too that goes unspoken about. But I've got a lot of crystals with me today. I've got opalite, and that's going to be a sign for someone. It might be your birthstone, but opalite's really good for transitioning. It's great for allowing you to find the strength to verbalize things you might not always want to say. I brought in malachite too. Thank you to someone really special that gifted me this. And malachite's amazing for, again, transformation, but in terms of prosperity, I think yes, the eye. Look at this eye. It's like someone's had their eye on a prize of some sorts for a really long time, and some people say, you know, it's not the best time to manifest an eclipse season. I would definitely be one of those that said that, but I think trust your instincts, trust your journey, and trust your knowing, and that's come out for a reason. So if you feel like you really want to be manifesting with this second black moon, like if you're really harnessing your shadow into power, it's like you're in the right space to do that. So intuitively feel what's right for you. I've also got black tourmaline, which removes unwanted energies and is great for protection. I always have black tourmaline by my bed, and also moonstone as well. You know, obviously it's still a new moon too, but moonstone, I use it as like my travel stone. It's like my astral travel stone. I feel like if I have moonstone around me too much, I stay in that lucid energy for too long. And like stones affect people in different ways, but I like to use moonstone if I'm really wanting to astral travel and journey and really stay in that sleep state. So that's really going to help with the unconscious mind too in terms of shadow work. That's also another aspect too, is unlocking those bits of our subconscious, these things that we don't bring to light because they feel too scary. I've also brought in smoky quartz, and I was seeing this stone as soon as I woke up for the past 2 mornings, and I think I'm going to do a reading with this stone because I think she holds a lot of energy. But smoky quartz is great for shadow work. I would see this as my shadow stone, not just because it's called smoky quartz, but because it's great for dispelling any nightmares, and it does help you to manifest, but also it really helps you see the clarity too. It's like having something that is so shadowy with you. In terms of the smoky quartz, it's like you're seeing into the shadow, you know. You're like, we all know what clear quartz looks like, and I've got some of that here, so you know how clear quartz is. That allows you to see clearly, but if you have smoky quartz, it's like it allows you to see the shadow. I hope that made sense. And then also I've got a purple banded dragon set. I've been working a lot with dragon energy, which has been really profound for me in such a deeper way than I've ever done before. But purple banded flora is great for putting order into chaos and harmony and finding places of balance in life. And I think that's where some of you might be at the moment. I think there's been a lot of chaos, and I definitely felt that with the first new moon in Aries back in March. It was just utter, I found myself in a ridiculous space that I just didn't even think possible. So I'm there with you, everyone that's watching this, and I feel like I'm in the dark with this one. So maybe you will feel that too. So take a minute to pick your pile, and I will go ahead with pile number 1. Hello, pile 1. This is your reading. Let's see what Spirit wants to comment on about shadow. I regard all altars with respect. 2 pillars there. Clouds and mystical in reverse. Raziel and retreat. Earth and grounding, that Taurus energy coming through strong. Green corn moon and patience. The portals here. Wow. Holy Grail, inner discovery, finding sacredness. You are what you seek, and that's in reverse. Sorry, I've had quite a shift over to the right, and I don't know why. Pile 1, you literally just need to shift things. It's like the way that I've laid the cards out, and now having to shift everything over. Your shadow is wanting you to make a big shift in your life somewhere. It's like your guides are coming through to say, look, this is you. You've been working so hard on self, keeping your places so sacred. It's like now's the time to move. Your shadow has been helping you move. Maybe you found yourself to be much more outspoken than you normally would be, pile 1, and I'm hearing that's what you've been feeling like you wish hadn't happened. It's like you've been really vocal somewhere in your life. I'm seeing a lot of I'm seeing this as like a throat opening now. There's a lot of portal energy, but it's like your throat chakra has been wide open, and I think that's caused a lot of destruction some places, pile 1. But your guides are saying that was supposed to happen. It was like you're really grounded, and you were supposed to be in that energy. So anything that was said, it was like you said it from a sacred place. You said it from a place of love. You said it from a place of, it's like you did it for your soul, pile 1. And if you can release any shame that you might be feeling at this time from being so vocal, or it's like your inner child felt like it wasn't safe for you. So if you can stand with your inner child in strength and say, like, we did this for us. It's like your inner child is shrinking away. You might have grown up in a space where you weren't allowed to speak that often, or, it was like, better. I'm hearing something like, women seen but not heard, that type of thing. My little baby just squealed then. So confirmation. That was so cute, Coco. Thank you. It's like you did the right thing, is what I want to say, Pile 1. You did the right thing, and you did it from heart, and your teams are coming in to say, if you can work through this shadow of shame, I think you feel a lot of shame and guilt or regret about some things that you've said, and your team is saying no. Everyone is saying no, you had to do that. It was like you were shoved into a space of retreat, Pile 1. It's like someone backed you into a corner and you had nowhere else to go. And, you know, it was like you were actually really pushed to have a voice. That was the whole point of the situation that you found yourself in, Pile 1. I'm hearing it was like you were pushed to your limits, and, you know, you feel like you've snapped, but actually you just showed up with a voice, and you're really powerful. So I think that knocked a lot of people over. They didn't expect it from you, and there is no shame in that. You know, if you have said it in a, I'm not even going to say in an eloquent way, because sometimes, you know, situations don't even call for that, and I can very much vouch for that, but it's like you said it how it was, and that was all that needed to be said. So don't feel shame in that, Pile 1. It's like, it's okay. You're still holy. This is why it's in reverse. It's like your guides are saying, don't worry, no, you're still of light. It's like you just found a place to speak, and I think that feels foreign to you, Pile 1. But you were so grounded in your delivery. I think that's what it was. You were so on point that it shocked some people, and that's not your fault. It's like that was what you were supposed to do, and I think that people thought you were. I think you're definitely working within the spiritual realms, or, you know, you connect, you divinate in some way, and this might be very subtle. You might, you know, literally just speak to the clouds sometimes, or you might have just an altar that you go to now and again. And some people like have an altar without realizing they have an altar. I realized that I had an altar space for a really long time, and I didn't know it was that. I used to just collect random things that I find, and I create a shelf all the time, right from being really young, and, you know, that was my altar space. But I see it as my trinkets, my thingy-mabobs, and, you know, that would be my happy space. But actually that was my altar space that, you know, somewhere soul's memory kept that in there. So I think you have a space. It might be somewhere really small. I'm hearing it's in your bathroom. Some of you have some things in your bathroom that's actually your altar space, and I'm seeing someone like brush their teeth and, you know, ground in for the day before they leave the house. It's like you have some ornaments in your bathroom, someone that's confirmation that that's actually your altar space and you didn't know. But it's like, yeah, I think people saw you as quite aloof, Pile 1. Yeah, they saw you as maybe a bit of an airhead, a bit aloof, and, you know, they just didn't think you'd speak up for yourself, is what I'm hearing. And your team is saying, oh yes, you did, and you found your voice. So this isn't even really a shadow side, to be honest with you, Pile 1, but I think you feel like it is, and that's what you have to work through. It's like this, yeah, I think some part of you feels like it was envy, and your team is saying that it's not. But the confirmations here with the green under and the green under and the gold at the top, it was like, no, someone tried to mask something as envy, when actually it was like they were trying to take all of your power. With this gold, I see this as divine light. It's like actually they were trying to take your power within that. They were trying to make you feel like you having a voice or standing up for yourself was you being envious in some way. And it was the entire opposite. That was how someone was like ciphering your energy, Pile 1, and you stood up for yourself and you said no. And this might be in a workplace, this might be a situationship you found yourself in, this might be something that is not the obvious. It might be really obscure. It's like, so for some of you, this is like something to do with a pet. It's like you put your pet in kennels or something for the first time, or they went somewhere and, you know, they didn't expect you to take them there. It's like you really, someone started to punish their pet in a different way. And punish sounds too strong, but it was like you didn't feed them their treat because they did something wrong and they didn't expect that of you. And, you know, you spoke to them firmly. And yeah, some of you might be training a puppy or something. And it was like, you did the right thing and you're feeling bad about that. That's so funny and random to come through. Yeah, it's really specific, but some of you were like, you're training a pet of some kind, but yeah, I'm hearing specifically a puppy. It's like, no, you were doing the right thing. They had to be taught in that way, you know. It's like they can't tear up the kitchen and get a treat, I'm hearing. So, and for some of you, that's it's like this immature energy. Yeah, it's like an immature page, like some of you are dealing with, you know, it can be any gender, masculine or feminine, and anything in between. It was like you were dealing with someone that was really immature, and they were actually using your mental capacity against you. It's like they knew how you would feel and overcomplicate something, and they were relying on that, when actually it was plain and simple that you were being disrespected, and you've stood up for yourself. Simple as that, Pile 1. So be proud of yourself, and it's like you knew something aligned, something in the stars aligned, and you started to really ground into your own mystical energy. And I think some of you really just come into your own true power, and this situation really helped you to ground that in, and your guides are coming in to say, no, you had to have a voice. No part of you was envious. That was an illusion. This was you standing up for yourself and your beliefs. Some of you really had to stand up for like your mystical beliefs. Like maybe you're living in a country that doesn't allow you to practice in some way, but you've stood up for self and you've been allowed to have your voice somewhere. I'm literally seeing someone being interviewed in a really public space where they're not allowed to, it's like they're not allowed to show witchcraft, or it's not even witchcraft, I'm feeling it's like you displayed something of yourself. It's like even your hair maybe, and that's not allowed in your country. It's like, no, you had to fight and stand up against that. So don't feel repentful for it. It's not like you have to repent for this, Pile 1. There's something in particular, and there's so many different ways that this could go, but the main message is that you weren't living in shadow. You weren't speaking through shadow. You were just speaking up for self, and your guides are wanting you to acknowledge that. So know that you remain sacred, know that you remain pure, know that you aren't going to be punished in the next life, I'm hearing, for the things that you've done. For some of you, that the shame and the guilt is really strong here. So that would be the part of the shadow that would be best for you to work on during this Aries new moon eclipse. Everyone in Pile 1, it's like guilt and shame are the main ones to focus on, but you have a voice, and you know there's freedom of speech, and it's like you're so polite as well, Pile 1. It's like no one thinks that you're rude, apart from the people that didn't want you to have a voice. Let's put it that way, Pile 1. It's like you have it under control, and this has put some people out of joint, and everyone else just sees you as, it's like someone was standing up for their rights. And I'm going to say woman because I do have two female figures here, and this doesn't mean gender necessarily, but it's like if you resonate as female and non-binary, it's like that specifically. You turned your back on something that was really trickstery with this balloon here. I'm seeing this as it. It's like, you turned your back on a clown, Pile 1. It's as simple as that, and you were right to do so, because now you're moving into all of this starlit energy, all this portal energy, all this divine gold, divine essence here. It's like, there's so much light at the top. It's like you're walking out of the murky waters, you're walking out of the shadow into the light now. And for some of you, this is into the cosmos here. It's like you're walking into something really expansive and beautiful for you, and that's what your team were wanting. So no, you haven't been working in shadow. I think you came to this reading thinking you were perhaps going to be told off, and it's the exact opposite, Pile 1. Your teams are really proud of you, and they're saying keep up the good work, remain in this state of flow. And eagles or birds of prey is a emblem for you, or should be. A scarab beetle too, and the sun Ra is something. So ancient Egypt is really strong in your energy too. You've got Egyptian blood, Pile 1. So be proud of that. You're royal and you're regal, Pile 1. Anyone that says otherwise is yeah, they just don't like you having a voice. And I know what that feels like. Stay strong, pile 1. You did everything. Hello, hello, pile 2. This is your reading. Let's see what Spirit wants to say about shadow. This card loves coming out. I relate in peace. Yeah, I was seeing some runes before I sat down. Lots and chants. So I'm glad that this card came out. I was debating getting runes out. Raphael and Earth Force. Some of you might have come straight from pile number 1. Language and Prosperity. High Priestess and Priest. Responsibility in reverse. Resistance. Stellar Gateway Activation, Infinite Potential, Manifestation, Vortex, and that's in reverse. That came out in a reading not too long ago. I think it might have been in pile 3. So that's a confirmation for you if you find yourself here again. What does Spirit want to say about your shadow? There's a lot of hands here, pile 2. Yeah, there's 3 cards with hands on. It's like, there's going to be different pathways opening up to you, pile 2. Some of you are really going to have to ground into your innate knowing to let you maneuver through what's to come. I'm seeing like a spider's web, and I got a message coming through of like sometimes you have to, you know, make your way through a spider's web, and the spider's there and it feels scary and it feels like it's impossible. You know, imagine being a tiny little fly in a web and thinking you can never get out, but it's like it's not impossible. And I love that I'm possible. Impossible spells I'm possible. And it's like you can make something possible, pile 2. And your shadow is going to be how you go about this. For some of you, it's like you have to sow great resistance and not fall into temptation. And for others of you, it's about jumping in and taking a chance on something. And for some of you, it's about really tuning in to your intuition and not taking a chance at all, but really seeing in that mind's eye. It's like, yeah, the eye of Horus. It's like, you know, some of you vision and you think this is just you daydreaming, but this is actually you working through visions and possibilities. It's like I realized I could see into different timelines, and sometimes I'll think that something's happened and it hasn't happened yet, but it was like I saw it in the future already, but just slightly. It's like something that was not too far away, but like so close I thought that it had already happened. And it's like we have time to stop things from happening. It's like if you see something going a certain way and you don't want to, it's like now's that time to act. And I think your shadow self is you not thinking that you have any power somewhere, is you not thinking that you don't get to take control over something. It's like you have control within a situation. It's like, don't just roll over and die. I'm hearing pile 2. That feels really strong. It's like use your earth force energy. Maybe you're someone that was used to getting their way by force and by anger, and it's like this is you now. You have to use your intuition and relate in peace. And now, you know, I don't think anger and violence is any way to get what you want, but it's like something about you was really forceful at something, and you know, it's like it didn't work out that way for you because it's like you were careless. You were really careless with something. And yeah, it's like I'm seeing like a giant like sweeping through like a town. It was like you knew where you were going and you were just knocking everyone else out of the way. It was like you just didn't have a care in the world. And I think that's what's been a shadow side. It's like you you've needed to take responsibility for your actions, because actually you were thinking you were being careless, but you're actually a very intuitive and tapped in person. So when you thought you were knocking things over carelessly, it was like, no, you were knocking things over that were actually supposed to be part of your life path, and you just bulldozed through them like they were nothing. Pile 2, that's so interesting. But it's almost like you didn't have an awareness, because you've locked away all of these gifts and all of this, knowing inside of you. It's like you knew, but you didn't want to know that you knew. It's like you shoved it down so much because you wanted to take control. And to work with spirit, there has to be so much surrender, like beyond the point that's comfortable. It's so uncomfortable, the amount that you have to surrender to be able to work in alignment with your soul and with spirit. That's something that I don't think is spoken about enough. It's like hands are off the wheel. If you think you know where you're going, it's like it doesn't work out that way. And yeah, maybe for some it does, but for the most part we end up somewhere completely different to where we thought we were going to be. And I think you find yourself in a very in a really shadowy space right now. And it was like your eye was on the prize, and it was supposed to be, but there was some things that you really took for granted. Maybe it's you weren't connecting with Mother Nature anymore. Maybe it's like I'm literally hearing like someone had planning permission for somewhere, and they shouldn't have built somewhere, but you did, and you're really regretting it, because it's like it's lost a bit of, there's like a conservation space that's now been deprived because of you. So I'm seeing like this greenery coming through the cracks, and it's like there's still time. That's what it is. It's like you use your magic, use your knowing to right wrongs. It's like righting past wrongs. Your shadow right now is telling you to right past wrongs. It's like they're coming out to say, we did this, and you have to take responsibility for what you've done. You can't resist your shadow right now. 25. You might be 50 years old, I'm hearing. That's a strong confirmation there. It's like this might be your 50th birthday this year, but it's never too late to right past wrongs. And this can be in ways that are very unconnected, I'm hearing. It's like you can do something that you feel like you want to do something that seems so random, but actually that's going to fix a lot of karma somewhere for some of you. But your shadow's here to say, we have to confess, we have to come out now. It's like now's the time to come out and show everyone that actually you're this really intuitive person, and you're ready to, some of you it's like you're ready to take that chance, because your prosperity lies on you taking this chance and coming out as peaceful. Yeah, my skinnies are being themselves, but that's just confirmation. It's like you made a lot of noise, pile 2. You made a lot of noise somewhere, and yeah, your shadow's engulfing you at this time, pile 2. I think that you knew what was coming with this reading. You knew what was going to be said. Nothing that I've said so far should be a surprise to you, but it's like there's such life force energy within you, this like earth force energy. It's like you're really connected to everything of spirit, and you really locked that away. That's been part of your shadow self. You saw it as something to be ashamed of, or some people have told you it was a shameful thing and they made you discard it somewhere. But it's like, no, that's where your power lies. And it's not a power of like, it's not a domination over other people. It's helping people. You can use spiritual gifts for so much good, and intuition for so much good. It's like those people in medical professions. It's like those ones that have that extra sense that we do all have, but they're just tapped in a little bit more than others. It's like they know the best treatment for someone, and that's not out of a book. It's like they sense it. Their guys and their teams help them know what someone needs. It's like you can be of help, you can be of service. And I think you've only seen that gifts end up as being something bad, or this might be something that you've been taught. This might be some ancestral karma that you're working through. It's like you're not going to be punished for your gifts anymore, pile 2, and that might be part of shadow that you need to work through. It's like there's some, what's it called? I can't think. The wounded witch type energy. It's like you're not going to be punished anymore. It's you're allowed to be out and have a voice. It might have come straight from pile 1, but it's like there's something that you're missing. With the stellar gateway, it might be connecting to your star family. So that's been the missing link. It's connecting to all of your potential power. Yeah, I'm seeing Thoth there. So Thoth's Emerald Tablet would be great for you to listen to. I sometimes have it on whilst I'm sleeping, and I usually have crazy dreams. Yeah, your dream times are trying to tell you some things, and maybe you were hoping. Yeah, I'm hearing that some of you were hoping that wasn't going to come out, but it's like that's the portal straight to your spiritual path. It's like, yeah, in your dream time, it's like your astral body does things that you won't do. Maybe that's part of your shadow too. It's like your shadow self has been showing up in your dream time, and it's like, yeah, maybe you've been getting yourself into, I'm hearing like risque situations, or it's like someone's been living out a lot of their shadow in their dream time. So it's like all of that subconscious is out there in the dream time, and it's like you hope that no one ever knows what you're dreaming about, pile 2. That's so interesting. It's like, you like wake up guilty, pile 2. It's like we have to have spaces to work through things, pile 2, and it's like don't be ashamed of your thoughts and your feelings, and we all have shadow. It's like no one is free from shadow, and we all, like, we're human, and at the same time we're very expansive, and we've lived many lives, and I've worked through some crazy things in my dream time that I would never I would never choose to speak of in the light of day, although sometimes I'm forced to by my teams. It's like some things are just too insane to say out loud, and it wouldn't make sense to other people, and that's okay. But as long as you're accepting of it, and as long as you're not shaming yourself for that, it's like don't take things to spaces that you don't need to in self, because your dream time is your time, and that's a safe space to work through some things, and know that that's how a lot of people work through a lot of things that they're not able to in their waking life, and that's okay. But sometimes that might go to extremes, and you're allowed to have that time, pile 2 is what I'm hearing. So 333 on the clock there is confirmation. So don't overthink it, pile 2. Know which pathway you need to take. It's like choose a path of least resistance, but also it's like some of you need to like go for something, but not by force. It's like using earth force, and not like I'm hearing like violent force, and it's not that extreme, but I can't think of a better word right now. It's eluding me, so I apologize, pile 2. But it's like go for something with heart and with intuition and with knowing, and take a chance on something that you should say yes to. It's like all of this power, and yes, it's like something is falling into the palm of your hand, and you just have to take it. It's like there's an opportunity for healing, there's an opportunity for something coming up, and you're going to just have to trust it and just go straight for it. Some of you might be shown this in your dream. You might go through a portal, you might see pyramids. It might be worth trying to sit with vision with the pyramids, pile 2. This is something that I ended up doing the other day. I was guided to. So just sitting in, trying to send yourself to the pyramids and inside the pyramids, and seeing what you find. There's something to be found inside the pyramids for you. Like I'm seeing like a winged, I'm hearing like a scarab beetle, a winged beetle. I'm seeing the Anunnaki with giant gold wings now. Yeah, maybe you resonate as being an Anunnaki, and that's part of your shadow self. It's like you didn't want to admit that to self, but we've all lived many different lives, and some of those, we do all sorts of things, and because we're just source expressing itself, and that comes in light and dark and in all shapes and sizes. It's like don't punish yourself for your past lives, I'm hearing. So that's going to really resonate for some of you. It's like, yeah, get by some water, pile 2. That's really going to help you get into a state of flow and know which pathway to take to your prosperity. It's like everything is riding on this next bit for you, pile 2. Everything's riding on this next bit for you, but that's okay. It's like you know which way to turn now. You know which way to turn and you're safe. Yeah, working with safety in terms of shadow 2. Yeah, shame and safety are your main aspects in working through anger in a safe way right now, pile 2. Yeah, there's a little bit of sadness here that your team is saying, you know, you don't need to be sad about something. It's okay. Everything's gonna be okay, pile 2. For some of you, you really need to know that and hear that it's all gonna be okay. You might just happen to be facing the music right now on some things, and it's never an easy space to take responsibility in some spaces, you know, where we feel like we might have done wrong or hurt other people, but we've all been there, you know. Every human goes through that, and you're working through it. Your spirit team and your cosmic team are really close by. You're seeing a lot of Pleiadian energy then coming through, also Arcturian and Andromedan as well, but mainly Pleiadian there. So hello, my Pleiadian babies. Yeah, that's it, pile 2. It's like everything is in the palm of your hands. It's like it's up to you how you move forward. But you have to know what's best for you. Use your intuition, pile 2. Q. Hello, hello, pile 3. This is your reading. What does Spirit want to say about your shadow? I speak positively of others. Shooting star and confirmation. Michael and transmutation. Lady, goddess, and feminine, divine feminine, Lady Rose energy. Ooh, darkness, a long night moon with the rabbit on there. I always think of Donnie Darko. Eva moon and creation. I thought there was another card stuck just right at the back. Star gathering, stars aligned, remember home, soul, family. That's in reverse. I'm sure those 2 cards came up last time. I promise you, everyone, I shuffled my cards so well, but those 2, if you came from pile 2, those 2 cards came together. The Stellar Gateway and the Star Gateway before Star Gathering, and that's your confirmation. Pile 3, what does Spirit want to say about your shadow? You are in it, pile 3. You are in your shadow. You are facing your fears, and everyone's just clapping. It's like you've been somewhere really deep and really dark, and now you're emerging as this great I'm hearing like great feminine energy. And even if you're a masculine, it's like you come into alignment with your feminine energy, and that's going to make you be even stronger. You've transmuted a lot, pile 3. A lot of energy, I'm hearing. You were creating self again from the inside out. You went inside yourself. You crawled so far deep into the depths of you that you didn't know what you were anymore. You were like, what was I supposed to be? Again, it's like yeah, you literally saying that to yourself, like, what was I supposed to be again? What was I doing here? You went so far into the darkness. It was like you needed confirmation to come back, and maybe that's where you find yourself now. Yeah, finally the beetle's here, the scarab beetle. You might have come from pile 1 to pile 3. It's like you're going to be led the more that you speak to people. It's like your next steps lies in communicating with other people. So that does relate to the pile 1 if you've come straight over from there. It's like the more you connect with others and the more you speak with others, the clearer your path is going to become. And yeah, you're really being pushed at the moment, pile 3. Your team and everyone are really supporting you and they're really behind you, but they're like, you have to solidify this space here. You're still in this, you're still working through some things and creating self, and then wanting you to stand firmly in this divine energy, in this, you know, you're the new you and you're still creating that. So don't be hard on self, but I think this is just confirmation of why you feel a bit out of sorts and a bit confused. I think you feel like, what am I doing here again? I just keep hearing it. I don't mean to laugh, pile 3. I'm just really resonating with that energy at the moment. So yeah, it just made me laugh. I'm sorry, but it's like your voice is your guide, and you might be someone that holds space with people. You might be someone that that sings. It's like the more you connect, it's just connection. You have to connect with people more, pile 3. You're being pushed out. Like, this isn't even about your shadow. This is telling you to get out of the shadows. This is telling you you've done so much shadow work that you have to come out now. It's like there's no more in there, pile 3. It's like your team is saying, come out, be in the daylight. You're like, it's springtime. For us in the northern hemisphere, it's like it's springtime now. Please come out. And even if you find yourself in the southern hemisphere, it's like you have to come up for air, pile 3. Oh yeah, I'm hearing like this is like you work so hard at self, pile 3. You're really diligent with your work, and you care a lot about the spaces that you hold, and you should do. But it's like your guides are like, please come out of the shadow, because you're not supposed to stay in there too long. Maybe it feels safe for you in shadow. Maybe you find it safest in the darkness, and yeah, that's okay, pile 3. It's like it's okay to that, but you're supposed to be experiencing what it feels like to be in the light. Maybe all you've had is a lot of shadow, so that's why it feels comfortable to you, pile 3. And it's like now you're being forced to come out into the light and into lots of love and appreciation, and you're like, no, I don't know what that feels like. I don't want that. You know, teams are saying now's the time to learn. And you're going to be safe. I think you don't feel safe right now, pile 3, and your teams are wanting you to work with your inner child. It's like, get out of the shadow and work with your inner child. It's like maybe you've lost your child in the shadow. It's like, bring them back, start to nurture them again, and start to rehabilitate yourself into the light. It's like you were in the darkness for so long, and maybe this is some of you really coming from deep shadow, and you know, you're really finding your footing as a light person now, as a light being, and that can feel very disjointed. That can feel very strange and new. It's like, yeah, maybe you're just new to all of your spiritual gifts, and yeah, walking the path of light. It's like maybe you're someone that, yeah, is going through rehabilitation. I'm hearing, you know, with addiction, or it's like you've just come out of prison or something, and you are walking the path of the light now. It's like you're safe. Know that you're safe, and it's like you won't turn back. It's like, yeah, with the back to the darkness here, it's like you're only looking at the light now. You've done so much work on self that don't be afraid that you're going to step into the darkness again. And you know, it's like you might have to know yourself deeper and to not reject all parts of self, but it's like you're not going to be a bad person anymore. And there's not necessarily anything, there's no real bad people in the world, you know. It's like things happen, karma happens, situationships happen, we find ourselves experiencing some things that we never thought we would, and it would be easy to say, you know, we all live pure and clean lives, but the simple fact is that we don't, and we're not supposed to, because we're supposed to be expansive souls expressing everything. And you know, I think a lot of people want to disregard anything they might have done of ill intent or darkness, or any lives where they've truly done bad things, because yeah, it's a lot to handle as a human being, but as a soul's level, we don't think like that. We don't have the same level of consciousness. It's all part of this journey. It's all part of reincarnating. It's all part of actually helping humanity for some of us. Some of you might be people that work with timelines. It's like actually sometimes you have to do a bad thing somewhere to counterbalance some good somewhere else. It's like there's that too. Things are very complex. Pile 3, and you know that, so don't subject yourself to simplicity when you don't actually live in a simple world. Like, none of us do, but we're told such a lie, and we're told to simplify things when actually everything is but simple, and it's very complex in the most beautiful way. And I think you've been stuck in the web of lies and the web of darkness, and it's like now you're walking towards the light, and that's okay. And the way that you're going to help yourself stay in the light is by speaking by speaking positively. Oh my gosh, why can't I say it? Speaking positively of others. Yeah, so it might be really hard for you to do that, pile 3. For some of you, it's like you're learning to. It's like speaking in tongues, speaking the light. Some of you might have been in some really dark spaces, and I'm really sorry to hear that you've been there. But it's like you're really having to learn how to speak positively of others and transmuting anything that you wish you didn't have anymore. So releasing with this Aries new moon, writing things down that you want to help ease and release and unburden you. Burn them, put them in water, bury them. Use the elements to your advantage. There's a lot of light here. I think lighting a lot of candles, making sure that you have light in spaces of darkness. It's like you might feel comfortable to be in a lot of darkness right now, pile 3, and maybe that will be a great space for you to rehabilitate yourself. I'm seeing there's like an animal as well that's coming through again, like a pet that's going through rehabilitation. It's like don't put them in too much bright light whilst they're coming back to self. Like let them stay in dimmed light and in darkness. Like light some candles or have a lamp on and sit with them in darkness to help them feel safe. Maybe for some of you, you've got a pet that's ill and might be passing. It's like the light's hurting their eyes, that's wanting to come through. It's like turn the lights down, it's hurting their eyes. Even if it's bright sunshine, it's like they're not enjoying it, but they can't converse that to you. Maybe that's something, maybe they've been acting up and you're not sure why. It's like because the light's too bright for their eyes. So specific. So I hope that reaches the person it needs to. There might be a bunny. Yeah, I'm hearing that's a bun for someone there. It's like the light's hurting their eyes. Interesting. Your head is somewhere really special, pile 3, so don't block that too. I think if you're someone that's been in this darkness, it's like something opened up for you. Your star family came in for you, and now everything's aligned for you to remember who you truly are. It's like maybe you're wanting to look into astrology. You find yourself just looking into looking into the cosmos of late, and yeah, looking for your soul tribe, your soul family. It's like they've showed up for you, and there's such a path of light ahead for you, pile 3. So allow yourself to receive that. It's like you feel guilt for being allowed to walk in the path of light now because others haven't, and perhaps they've done similar things to you, but it's like everyone's on a different path and a different journey. So don't let anyone feel like you're unworthy of walking the path of light, even if they've done similar things to you. What about their past lives? Like, what are they supposed to learn this lifetime? And sometimes things happen for us and not other people, and that has to be okay. And anyone that's trying to tear you down or bring you back into this, like you don't deserve light, that's just not true. Pile 3, it's not true. You deserve to stand in the light and feel all the love from everything that's available to you. It's like, yeah, some of you feel blinded by the light. It's like, yeah, some of you literally saw a really blinding light of energy, and that's what gave you this push to move forward. It's like something happened, maybe a near-death experience for some of you. It's like you saw the light and now you've come back, and it's okay. Just keep transmuting and working through the things that you did whilst in shadow. It's like it's okay, pile 3. Some of you have been working through a lot of really heavy things, and go easy on self, but know that you deserve to walk in the light. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to feel positive. Doing some help in your community might make you feel better and more able to receive, pile 3. I think you struggle with receiving, so maybe doing more things for your community will help you, make you feel like you're deserving to receive. So maybe that might be a nice tactic to almost like trick your shadow there. It's like, yeah, go and do more things for others, and that will help you feel celebrated for some of you, but also help you stay in the path of the light. It's like you're not going to turn back from the light now. It's blinded you. Yeah, it's blinded you into seeing. It's like you see it all now. Maybe tapping into your Akashic records is really going to help you to pile through if that's not something that you know about. Yeah, do reach out to me if you'd like to work with me with regards to your Akashic records. That feels aligned. I don't do that often, but there's someone here. Yeah. If you close your eyes, you're going to be given some answers, pile 3. I'm seeing someone just sitting quietly. I'm hearing in stasis, so maybe that that aligns for you. It's like you're going to be aligned with your star family if you just sit in silence and close your eyes. It's like they're going to speak to you. 3940, yeah, the continuation there, I've only just realised. Again, this birthday, 39th and 40th birthday, it's like this is a big year for some of you, so let yourself shine. It's like you've gone through a massive transformation. Maybe this is a lot later in life than expected, but now you're walking the path of light, and you should be proud of self. It's like all your team and everyone beyond the veil is proud of you. Maybe there's not a lot of people proud of you right now, but I'm proud of you, Pile 3. It takes courage to step away from such darkness and allow yourself into the light. And, you know, it might take time for some to heal from the things that have happened with you. Blue Moon is a confirmation there. It might be your favourite beer. That always comes through. But it's like they'll forgive you, and they want you to walk in the light too. Maybe they only feel that as a soul's level right now, but it's like you will be forgiven everywhere, Pile 3. Don't worry. Just keep transmuting. Keep using the elements. Be out in nature. And yeah, stargazing, sitting out at night under the stars will help you connect into your star family energy too. I know that sounds, you know, obvious to say. I'm seeing a dragon there too, a blue dragon. 3 dragons I'm seeing. That's just confirmation for someone. Yeah, you've got 3 blue dragons, and if that's not something you've heard of before, it's like you should be working with your 3 blue dragons. Yeah, a lot of Pleiadian energy again. That's it, Pile 3. Some of you have been working on your physical body, and it's like it's working, honey. I'm hearing. So keep doing what you're doing. Someone switched up their workout routine, or yeah, you're expressing yourself in a more physical sense. This might be towards sensuality and pleasure. You're working through all of that, and it's like it's working. Yeah, it's getting you out of your shadow. Some of you are working with sacred sensuality and shadow, which is such a great practice. Yeah, releasing with that, releasing with pleasure instead of pain. That will be helpful for a lot of you. Learning to allow yourself to enjoy life again, Pile 3. Is what your guides want you to work on with regards to shadow. It's like allow yourself to enjoy life. Stop sitting in your shadow, because you're working through it and you're being forgiven as you do. So keep speaking positively of yourself. That was what it is. It's like a block. You're not very good at speaking positively about yourself, Pile 3, and that's something to really work on. Yeah, that's why I was stumbling on my words. Sorry, I couldn't grab it. I'm sitting in a lot of energy at the moment, but it was like you're not speaking positively to yourself, and that's what's making you feel like you don't deserve to be in the light. Use some positive affirmations all day, every day. Have them on loop. Have them playing in the background. Pile 3, solar plexus energy and sacral chakra energy would be really great for you to work on. Also keep on working on your third eye as well, and your crown chakra. If you'd like to align your chakras, please do reach out to me. I'm a Reiki practitioner and I can help you with that. But it's like you're getting there, Pile 3, but you're so much further along than you're allowing yourself to experience, because you feel like that there's more to uncover, but you've done a lot of darkness already. It's like stay in the light, stay with your star family, stay in this all light energy and have some fun. I think fun feels hard for you right now, Pile 3, so work on having fun. But that's it from me for this reading. Please do take care, Pile 3.